The State Department released the January 2024 Visa Bulletin this week. As we prepare to welcome the new year, we are seeing some positive signs in the Visa Bulletin, particularly advancement in EB-1 and especially in EB-5, where India's final action date is advancing nearly 2 years. This is not only good news for EB-5 investors from India that filed before the EB-5 Reform Act of 2022, or the RIA, but it also has implications on post-RIA investors looking at the new visa set-aside lines today. Let's walk through the January Visa Bulletin, and then I'll talk about these implications for new EB-5 investors. Hi everyone, Peter here at Barry & Co. In this video series, we are monitoring and analyzing the State Department's monthly Visa Bulletin for the employment-based schedules and discuss possible alternative strategies for you and your family to get a green card. If you're unfamiliar with the mechanics and terminology of the Visa Bulletin, I recommend that you check out this video first. Now for EB-1, the final action date for India advanced over 3.5 years from January 2017 to September 2020, while the dates for filing, Chart B, advanced by 1.5 years to January 1st, 2021. For context, at the start of fiscal year 2023, India was current. Then an initial retrogression hit in January 2023 with a final action date of February 2022, which had held until the end of the fiscal year when it suddenly moved back 10 years to January 2012 when the visas were exhausted for the year. After the quota reset for fiscal year 2024, final action date improved, but only to January 2017. We're still not quite where we were last year, but this is something to celebrate. And based on Chart B, we may see the final action date advance to January 2021 for fiscal year 2025. For China, EB-1 advanced 4.5 months to July 1st, 2022, while Chart B advanced 5 months to January 1st, 2023. The rest of the world continues to be current. Modest progress for EB-2. India moved 2 months to March 1st, 2012, and China just over 2 months to January 1st, 2020, while the rest of the world advanced only 3.5 months to November 1st, 2022. Rest of world demand is expected to continue to exceed supply after retrogression began for all chargeability last year, December. Likewise, EB-3 continues its retrogression. India advanced 1 month to June 2012, China just over 7 months to September 2020. Rest of the world demand continues with a final action date of August 1st, 2022, an incremental improvement by about 8 months. Incremental, but these changes do enable thousands of families to obtain their green cards. Now let's look at EB-5, the investor visa. EB-5 set-aside categories established by the RIA, rural, high unemployment, infrastructure, these continue to remain current for all countries. These categories are available only for new post-RIA investors. For investors who filed pre-RIA, China is still progressing very slowly, advancing 9 weeks to December 8th, 2015. The biggest improvement by far was seen for pre-RIA investors from India. Final action dates advanced nearly 2 years from December 2018 to December 2020. This is great progress. At the end of fiscal year 2023, final action dates were set at April 1st, 2017. For comparison, India has moved more than a year where the final action dates were in November 2019. Now, setting the final action date at December 2020 is important. The last major surge of EB-5 investor applications occurred prior to November 21st, 2019, when the EB-5 modernization rule drastically changed the investment amounts and TEA definitions, and applications dropped by more than 90% until Barry successfully challenged USCIS in federal court and had this rule vacated, restoring the EB-5 program. Once USCIS gets through these EB-5 applications that were filed through November 2019, then we can expect major advancement for pre-RIA India, or it may even become current. As I've mentioned in prior videos, Chart B, the dates for filing for India, have remained at April 2022 since the start of fiscal year 2024. Chart B indicates where the State Department believes the final action date in Chart A will be at the end of the fiscal year. Last year, by comparison, the dates for filing in Chart B were set at December 2019. This demonstrates that USCIS and the state are making progress getting through the visa demand for India EB-5. April 2022 is post-RIA. If indeed in a year USCIS accomplishes this feat, and it's not certain of course, it depends on USCIS processing times, visa quota, and so forth, but then the unreserved India EB-5 would become current. And that's huge. Welcome news for the new year. This means there'd be little to no demand for unreserved EB-5 visas for India. Generally, unused EB-5 visas are carried over to the EB-1 visa preference. It's expected, however, that states' visa office, in the face of demand by EB-5 investors in the reserved or set-aside categories, will use that excess unreserved visas to meet that demand first, limited by respective country caps. We see this potential in the dual approval codes issued by USCIS. For new EB-5 investors, post-RIA, we're starting to see new I-526E approvals, and something new is happening here. These approval notices include two approval codes. For example, one for reserved high unemployment, one for unreserved high unemployment. USCIS and state have not yet formally issued guidance on this, but we at Baring had an opportunity to discuss these dual visa codes with Joey Barnett, partner at WR Immigration, and Charlie Oppenheim, the former chief of visa control of the State Department and responsible for the Visa Bulletin for over 20 years, now head of Wolfstorf's government relations team. According to Joey and Charlie of WR Immigration, there are two important takeaways here. First, high unemployment or rural investor now has two options on their I-526E approval notice. According to this new approval notice, investors can choose to have their visa processed under the reserved category or choose to be processed under the unreserved visa instead. This could be a big advantage if that category becomes current by the time their green card is ready to be processed. Chart B's post-RIA dates suggest that this could be a possibility by then, but that remains to be seen. Second, the dual approval code could allow rest of world EB-5 investors in the reserved visa categories to choose the unreserved visa numbers instead. This would relieve pressure and even potentially increase the supply of reserved visa numbers for Chinese and Indian nationals, mitigating potential retrogression in these visa set-asides in the future. To learn more, check out Baring's blog and stay tuned for our video discussion with these EB-5 experts. Having a dual approval code enables an EB-5 family to choose at the time of visa processing or adjustment of status to be processed under whichever line is faster, unreserved visa line or a reserved visa line. Doing so can alleviate pressure of future visa demand in these new EB-5 visa set-asides. In short, EB-5 investors can focus on choosing the project that meets their EB-5 needs and investment needs, whether high unemployment or rural, with less anxiety over potential visa backlogs in the future. If you are interested in learning more about the EB-5 investor visa strategy to obtain a green card for you and your family, I encourage you to explore Baring's EB-5 channel. Our videos cover all aspects of the program, including Q&As with expert EB-5 lawyers, former State Department officials, and former USCIS adjudicators, and more. I hope you found this video useful. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe to see our future videos. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Leave any comments or questions below or requests for future topics and future videos. And take care for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.